Deontay Wilder, he stated that he could survive any era because of his power, his tremendous power. And that's an interesting statement because if you do put him in every era, you know, not every fighter has 10 title defenses. We'll see what he does against Tyson Fury in the rematch. I think if he beats Tyson Fury, man, forget being an all-time heavyweight. You are an all-time great if you could knock out Tyson Fury in a rematch. And I sincerely mean that because Tyson Fury is that good. So Wilder has the power and have proved that he defended his title for more than, or 10 times more so. He's about to defend it for the 11th time. And we all know he defended it against Ortiz twice. Tyson Fury for the second time right now. And we all know the WBC is the main title when it comes to the sport of boxing. And it's not easy to defend
if you
your
like
title
the
10
Suleiman
times.
crew, not at all. Like that, that is something that a lot of people don't understand how
it's not that easy.
how great of a feat that is to have 10 successful title defenses. I don't care in what era that you're fighting. That's a great accomplishment. Yeah,
so that's my point. That is so hard to do, and we can see why. I mean, you could just look at the landscape of the heavyweight division. Just look at what happened to Anthony Joshua. Ruiz upset at him, sending him back to the UK. Then he danced circles around Ruiz in the rematch. Yeah. Anything can happen in the sport. Is the theory of the unexpected. So for you to go 10 fights and successfully beat your opponent is very impressive. For you to tie Muhammad Ali, the highest, you know, his title defenses. Of course, I must mention Muhammad Ali. You know, he defended his title 10 times at one point. But he also defended his title 8 times, then they was trying to send him to Vietnam and got locked up at the time or something like that. Remember?
He lost his boxing license. He lost 3 years out of his career.
Exactly. So that kind of stopped his legacy from growing. So we really don't know how great Muhammad Ali could have been. But we do know how great he was in his prime, or more so toward his prime. So it's not that easy. So I do co-sign the fact that Deontay Wilder could survive any era because of his tremendous power. If he's in the golden era at the heavyweight division, he could have been a George Foreman at least. So what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on what Wilder had to say? And what do you think the toughest era would have been for Deontay Wilder? Is it the Mike Tyson era or the Ali era, or which one in particular? Your take.
Yeah, so with the Mike Tyson era, I'll kind of talk about that because he had kind of a disjointed era. I think that Deontay Wilder would fare pretty well because of his power. Not only his power, but his physical dimensions. He's 6'7". He's slim but strong, and has good strength, particularly in his upper body. I think that he would have struggled. I think he would have struggled the most in the. It's the Mike Tyson. I call it Mike Tyson / Lennox Lewis era because honestly, Lennox Lewis was the best heavyweight during that era. But during that era, it was Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe. I mean, there was just a lot of good fighters, but I think that was also the first time we really got introduced to the giant heavyweight. But these were still guys who were coming up in boxing. Now we do have the giant heavyweights, particularly the American ones, but a lot of those are these football or even basketball transplants, right, who kind of get out there. Back during this era with Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis, those guys came up with a strong amateur background, and you can just tell in the technique and the things that and the combination that they throw that they don't have to worry about it. And I think that Deontay Wilder would have struggled with these more skilled heavyweights
because of the amateur background. And
because of the amateur
just
background.
A quick disclaimer, like back in the day, there was only one belt, just to keep in mind.
George Foreman.
So when Ali was the champion at the time, it's like you have 4 straps. You're the lineal champion. You everything together. It's like the equivalent of the UFC belt. But forget about that because there's different MMA sections and stuff like that. Like there's different MMA, UFC. They all go against each other. But more so, Ali and the fighters at the time, Joe Louis and all of them, there was only one strap. So you fighting a mandatory is equivalent of you maybe fighting a Tyson Fury or Ortiz for a Wilder. You get what I'm saying? So my point is,
true
one thing for sure, Wilder never avoided anybody and is always willing to fight anybody. And was, he always risk his, you know what I mean? He look for the most riskiest fight when he do fight his opponents. Like Ortiz, for example. So I think I co-sign what you're saying. The golden era, Ali era, be the most difficult, and maybe even.
Well, no, I didn't say that. Remember, I said that the
Mike Tyson and Holyfield.
Lewis,
I think the Ali era, he has chance of beating Frazier and George Foreman because of the fact that they could be hit.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a matter of can he knock out George Foreman before George Foreman knocks him out. In that fight in particular. On the Mike Tyson era and Holyfield, man, Holyfield was just so schooled and stuff like that. But to keep in mind,
really bold, man. That guy was.
Inform me on this. Ali won a gold medal.
Yeah.
George Foreman won a gold medal. Did Frazier win a gold medal in the Olympics?
Frazier.
Because I think they all won gold medals as well. They all was very deep in the amateur as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, them two eras are one of the best two. I mean, if not the best eras in boxing. I think Ali era was the best when it comes to the heavyweight division at all eras and all divisions. Just how the division was so deep at the time. Can you hit the bell, Professor Nim?
Yeah, I wanted to. I mean, even though we want to encourage the super chat, I did want to read some of the comments real
yeah,
quick.
We're gonna get to that at the end of the show because we're running short on time. And who you have in particular?
So Joe Frazier won the 1964 Summer Olympics heavyweight gold medal. So I wanted to make sure that we had our facts right.
The Frazier?
Yeah, Frazier.
See, that's what I'm saying. They all had deep background when it comes to the amateurs and stuff like that because they all won gold, which is very impressive.
Yeah, so I guess Carter, I'm gonna just say E. Carter.
Yeah, shout out to Sean too.
I'm not sure if that's a troll name, but he said he would have slept them all, saying that Deontay Wilder would have slept them all.
I love Wilder, but you ain't sleeping Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali got knocked down in the 15th round by a perfect left hook. Got up in 2 seconds. That's one man you will never knock out.
All right, we got a super chat question real quick. I guess we got a couple of them, so I'm gonna take the first one, which is from Nelson Santos. Shout out to Nelson Santos, and said, should Joshua pull up on them Saturday?
Man,
of course.
Anthony Joshua ain't doing a damn thing though. He ain't pulling up on nobody.
Of course.
Nelson, listen. Man, listen.
Of
if
course.
he pull up, bro, he got all the respect in the world because you keep claiming he been using Deontay Wilder name and Tyson Fury since I don't know how long. I mean, he coming off his last fight, he said he will never mention Deontay Wilder because he wants a tune-up fight. And then after that fight, he been mentioning Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury nonstop. So he better show up. If he's sincere about it, if he want to show the world that he want to fight the boogeyman, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, because those two fighters he did avoid. So he better show up. Nelson, yeah, he better show up.
Good.
Appreciate it, though.
Let's go back in with Jose Camacho. Says that 90s era, every boxer had to be bulky to survive Tyson's power. Whatnot, he did kind of bring a new dynamic to boxing at that time. And then he said the 10s, I guess like the 2010s era, every boxer had to be basketball height in order to combat Klitschko's reach.
That's funny. And that's actually true because, the Klitschko era, that's why Klitschko struggled against Anthony Joshua, even though he was 40. Let's give him a break. Tyson Fury, he was like 37, 38 at the time. But regardless, they are bigger heavyweights. Klitschko relied on using his reach and leaning on his opponents as soon as they come in the inside. But when you find a Wilder that has the same reach and height as you, and Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, it's that much harder. So I do agree with Camacho. Appreciate it for showing love. But on to the next round. We had a great show, Professor Nim. We're going to end the night. And of course, split decision. Episode 22 is over with, where we offer the book of the truth every Sunday live on Split Decision. So make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all click on the notification bell to get notified every time we post or go live on AkHi TV. during split decision. We have real life professors teaching at the AkHi University. All you have to do is subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, and listen to these decafs / O Media. Of course, shout out to Deontay for starting the new media wave that I'm a part of. And obviously, shout out to Professor Nim. Always great talking to you, man. You know, lay it out. Of course, you pick a Tyson Fury. I'm picking Wilder.
I got him by split decision. So we're going to, cut up this live segment. So we're just going to have the one that's focused on the prediction. So we want to see the people 50 push-ups. Go ahead, put online. Like, we're going to record it. We want you to record live, and then we're going to post those up. And then also, once we get to about like 20,000 subscribers on AkHi TV, we're going to bust out a very cool segment called Professor Nim's Boxing Gems, where we're going to be teaching you like little subtle movements, but just kind of really schooling y'all, taking it from the classroom into the gym.